Hi everyone, this is Jim. Welcome to this Blitz chess postmortem, a postmortem of my Blitz game number 324. I was trying out the Sicilian dragon this time, so let's check it out. The nice thing about the dragon is you can often get it. A lot of times White will just play the main line of the Sicilian, so you can get all of these moves and play knight f6 to attack the pawn. He plays here to defend it, and then here on move 5 you play g6, and you're in the dragon. So here we go. And my opponent, after some deliberation, decided to go ahead and play the main line. So if you watch this, this is the Yugoslav attack against the dragon. You'll see that all the moves being played are the top choice in the opening book. So bishop e3, bishop g7, f3, to stop the knight from coming to g4 and support a later push of the pawns. I play knight c6. You can also castle there. They're about equally popular, and they transpose into each other. Queen d2, setting up the battery. Now you castle. And bishop c4. So this is one of these points where White has a choice. He can actually start attacking right away with g4. He can castle queenside, which seems to be more popular these days, or bishop to c4. The idea with bishop c4 is it stops black from pushing on with d5. After castles queenside, d5 is a possible move, and actually the main move there. So this bishop c4, it stops that from happening and also sets up pressure along this diagonal. So this pin on the pawn can sometimes weaken g6 here and allow some attacks on these pawns. So basically White is going to castle queenside. Black's already castled kingside, and then White is going to go after this structure and try to open up the lines to Black's king and mate him. So pretty simple, straightforward strategy here. Black just continues developing for a bit. White castles queenside and rook c8, and now we pretty much have this set up. This bishop is a little bit loose here. There's already tactics in the air. A sudden move of the knight would leave this bishop exposed, so it drops back. And now knight e5 is the move. Okay, I played this. The knight is often going to c4, where it forks these two pieces and forces an exchange of the bishop here, which is one of the main attackers. So basically Black just needs to relieve the pressure a bit, and White continues on with the attack. So all the way up to move 12 we've been playing the top choice, and now the top choice here is to play h5 to try and slow down the attack and meet it. We've got knights and bishop covering this square, so make the move g4 difficult to play by playing h5 here. But I played something different. It's a second choice here in the opening book. It's knight c4 right away, and the idea with this move is you're kind of waiting for White to spend a couple more moves, and you're trying to get your attack going over here on the king side. So this pretty much forces an exchange. This knight is attacking the queen and the bishop, and White really doesn't want to give up this good bishop and the ideas of attacking on the h file here. So this is the move that's almost always played. And then Black already has an advanced piece here, so he's getting ready to start his attack along the c file and towards the Black king. So now White continues with his plan, pushing on with the h file. Now I should just take that pawn. So I didn't play this, but let's go ahead and show how this might go. I was a little worried after knight takes h5. Well, one thing is he can play g4 right away and chase the knight away, and then he has this open h file, which is pretty dangerous. I was a bit worried about the exchange sacrifice here, and I guess it's just not sufficient. King b1, queen d3, knight c2. Yeah, I would have imagined rook here and queen here would be the play to go, but king b1, rook e8, knight d5. Okay, so the engine thinks Black can defend this position, and it's probably correct. So maybe I was overreacting to this threat of h5 by playing queen a5 here. The other thing, let's look at the other line. after knight takes h5, there's also g4. And that just opens up the h file here, forces the knight back. And now the queen can come over. And let's see, it thinks knight b3 is a good move here, which is kind of funny. It's just retreating the knight. I was thinking just going for the throat here. Set up this battery, and then you push the g-pawn to chase the knight away. Rook takes c3. Okay, and here the exchange sack is good. And okay, well, we're going to get some typically complicated play here. How about if he pushes the pawn to g5? Oh, then the knight can go to h5. Okay. So it's not so simple. Anyway, let's get back to the game. I played queen a5, and we're pretty much out of the opening book at this point, so let's just look at the notation page. But the idea is to support the knight coming over here and just winning that pawn if he lets me. He plays g4, so it looks like knight b3 chasing my queen would have been a good move here. Okay, he plays g4, and I go ahead and do the exchange sack now. It's important for kind of psychological reasons to get something going against your opponent's king. If you just give him a free hand over here, this is a pretty strong attack. These pawns are getting in pretty quickly. He can open up the h-file and get the queen over. So there's a lot of attacking ideas for white, and you need to do something to distract him. So this move, rook takes c3, although it's technically not the best, it serves a useful purpose here, and causing your opponent to focus his attention on the on his own king safety for a bit. So he took back with the queen, which was a top choice, and then I grabbed the pawn. So I get a pawn. After giving up the exchange, I win a pawn. So I get something for the exchange. And now the best way to defend this is to play queen b3, it looks like. So my opponent played queen a3, a similar idea of trading the queens off. But I wasn't ready. The engine thinks I should trade. I wasn't ready to trade queens. I wanted to still try out some of my attacking ideas. And white continues with his plan, opening up the h-file. So this is still good for white. And then queen takes a7. This is still good. It was proved by the engine. Although it's a bit, you have to wonder if this is really on the right track, because the queen is getting out of play. All the action is over here on the king side, and I can probably stop the queen from penetrating along the 7th rank. The knight is defending the bishop here, which is a key point. So I play rook c8 rather. My idea is to chase this knight away and just checkmate over here on c2. Pretty simple plan, and my opponent plays queen takes b7 here, and this is a mistake. Right here he needs to make another defensive move, and I like this move rook d2 that the engine is suggesting. Using this rook to defend, but also with the idea that it could come over here to h2 and put more pressure on the h-file. So a nice dual purpose move, and white should be in good shape at this point. So my exchange sack was not justified. That was the answer to the question. It wasn't a correct sacrifice, but interesting anyway. Instead, my opponent played queen takes b7, and now I play e5 to hit the knight. But you see, actually, I had a more powerful way to play here. So this is the idea I missed in the game. Knight takes g4, and the idea is that I'm attacking the knight. Now the knight is defended, but removing the knight, if I can remove it with tempo, I still have this threat of checkmate here. So so he doesn't have time, for example, to grab my knight. I'll grab here, and queen takes c8 check. It's recommended. It's the only way for for white to escape from the various threats here is to give up his queen, and well, he gets the bishop. So in this situation, I have a queen and a bishop against two rooks and a bishop. I'm going to grab a pawn over here, and I've got a pawn advantage, and it should be good for black. So let's back up. Yeah, so that was knight takes g4 here. So pretty interesting tactic. I played e5, also trying to chase the knight away, but it's just not quite as effective. And he could defend with, once again, rook d2, defending, or queen b3. I would like queen b3 even better. Oh, my queen is defended. So anyway, basically this piece is lost either way, either rook d2 or queen b3. I'm just going to take the knight. So I've given up some pawns and I've gained a piece. And even though the engine favors white, there's still a game to be played here. So this is not all that bad. But he played b3, and this is probably the losing move because after this I maintain my advantage the whole way through. I can just move my queen to c3, keeping these threats going. Rook d3 to chase my queen away. It solves some of his problems. It maintains the defense of c2 and attempts to chase my queen away, but unfortunately this opens up the back rank and his rook on h1 is undefended. So this is pretty straightforward from here on out. I'm just up material now, and his attack is not breaking through. He tried, black's turn here. He tried knight b5 coming in, and I went with some checks. Yeah, okay, the engine likes the checks. Queen g2. So the thing to worry about in a situation like this is if your queen is over here in the corner and your opponent's pieces are well placed, for example, I had a weakness here, then there is a danger that he can get an attack going before you get your queen back in time to defend. So that's what you have to watch out for. But in this case, I was able to use these, cancel that. He played king to e1. I was able to use these threats with my queen and rook to keep my pieces active here. So I've got a winning position now. He tried queen b8 check, and I just retreated my bishop to f8, and now I have a mate in 8 with the correct play. Now let's see, he went rook d2, and what's the way to play this? Rook c1 check. Just out of curiosity, I didn't play this, but rook c1 check. It's a very forcing line because his king has no moves. The rook is hitting here and the queen is hitting here, but he can just block with rook d1, and the next move is queen h1 check. Oh, well, this is nice. I'm picking up the rook. Yeah, I should have seen that and then later go on to mate. Okay, so I just simplified here with rook takes d2. This keeps a winning advantage, but would have been quicker to do it the other way. Bishop takes b5. Again, not the best move here. Knight takes e4. I guess with the idea if he takes back, then queen here is check. Oh, no, it's knight takes e4, then bishop takes g4. It's funny. So doing it in that order is somehow much better. So he played queen takes b5, and now grab on f3. This is my idea, just getting rid of his defenders and then going after these weak pawns. I didn't think I had mating force anymore around his king, so I'm just grabbing material at this point. I did allow a check, and I probably should have just played d5 right away. I tried running with my king first, and he gets some more checks. King to h8, but there's no perpetual check. Queen to f7, cancel that. He played queen to f. No, he played queen to d8. Queen to f7 would have been interesting. That kind of forces my king back here. Cancel that. I went here. And then he went queen c7 check. The engine momentarily went to 0 because it's repeating a position, but actually there is no repetition here because after queen c4 check, well, we're in the same position we were before, but I would just play d5 to block the queen, and that would be sufficient. Instead of trying to repeat, he played bishop to c3. And I was able to grab this pawn with check, king moves, and then bring my knight into the game, blocking any further checks and also forking his queen and his bishop. So he resigned at this point. Pretty one-sided game at this point. So not too early to resign. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Leave any comments you have in the section below, and I will see you again soon. Bye.